Hi, everyone. My name is Miriam McLemore. I'm the Director of Enterprise Strategy at AWS. Prior to joining AWS, I was the corporate CIO at the Coca-Cola Company. And through my 26 years at Coca-Cola, I had a number of roles with the mission of driving the global enterprise data strategy for the Coke system, including roles where I authored the data standards and I was the director of business intelligence. Amazon Redshift was a key solution that enabled our strategy. For those who have just joined us, welcome to the AWS Data Insights Day, a full day event focused on using Amazon Redshift to unlock value and generate insights from data. Rahul shared an inspiring vision for data and had a great discussion with Gilead. On their Redshift use case, Professor Tim Kreska talked about how AI will impact databases. And I am excited to host the Women in Data panel. Joining me are three amazing women leaders and data practitioners from three different customers and countries. Ladies, welcome. Please tell us a bit about yourselves, where you're based, what brought you to the data world, and what is your current role in your organization. Una, let's start with you.
Well, Miriam, I discovered computer science by chance, in fact, as I was selecting my course of study in university. And it's led to a passion for engineering and a dynamic career over 20 years in data and analytics architecture and governance. My current role is Vice President of Data Platforms as a Product at Schneider Electric, a company I joined in 2004 as a business intelligence developer. My team as product owners encompass the full group data analytics platforms at Schneider Electric, including our enterprise data lake and our analytics toolkit.
Wonderful. Welcome. Juana, could you introduce?
Hi, everybody. My name is Juana Sentanay. I'm head of data engineering at Flutter UK&I. My journey in data started about 14 years ago when I embarked on an academic journey of teaching statistics and SQL as an assistant professor at a university in the United States. Soon thereafter, I started my career as a data engineering for a major semiconductor company, and I can say it's been love ever since. About 10 years ago, I moved into my first management role where I had a chance to look at data from a more strategic point of view. And I had the chance throughout my career to build very strong data engineering teams. In my current role as head of data engineering, I look after the data engineering for all our implementations. I manage the 24/7 support of all of our operations on the data platforms, our DevOps, and our cloud infrastructure. The majority of my past 8 years, since I've been with Flutter UK&I, specifically the Paddy Power and Betfair brands, I have been embarking on the AWS journey, initially migrating from on-premise to the AWS cloud and steadily expanding our footprint in both in terms of technology and amount of data in AWS. Throughout my career, I had a chance to work with top-edge technologies, passionate data professionals, and I strongly believe that data is one of your strongest and the strongest assets a company can have. From my point of view, if you master the art of making sense of the data, you are a winner in whatever industry you may be working in. So data is the perfect place for me. Thank you.
Welcome. And May, could you introduce?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mei Han, a production database admin with almost 20 years of experience. I've been working at Global Foundries since 2012, and 2 years ago, I transitioned into my current position as a lead cloud infrastructure admin. In my current role, I'm responsible for transitioning locally hosted infrastructure to the cloud. designing cloud solutions to meet business needs, provisioning and configuring cloud environments, as well as troubleshooting issues and perform performance tuning. I have a bachelor's degree in engineering and a master's degree in information systems. Additionally, I hold certificate in AWS Solution Architect Associate and AWS Database Specialty, which allow me to continue expanding my skills and knowledge in this exciting, fast-growing field. As a DBA, I've been working with data all the time. One of our big projects I'm working on is to migrate our on-premises data warehouse to Amazon Redshift. I have worked closely with our application team, AWS ProServe team, and the AWS customer support team. And we've migrated 4 data types and close to 1 petabyte data so far. Thank you.
Welcome, and welcome to all of our speakers. What an amazing panel that we have for you today. We're going to talk through the stories from each of these customers and the challenges and the use of data and technology. Let's start again with Una. Una, Schneider Electric has been with Redshift for quite some time. Could you please share your story? What does Redshift mean to Schneider? What are the most innovative or transformation outcomes that you've achieved since adopting Redshift?
Super, Miriam. Schneider Electric is a growing technology company. Our 2 key businesses, energy management and industrial automation, provide a path for decarbonization and a green future for our global customers, providing energy and automation digital solutions for efficiency and sustainability. Critical to our business is a data-backed execution of strategy, enabled through accessible, reliable, and well-governed data through our data governance framework and data platforms. For us, Amazon Web Services forms the backbone of our technology architecture in our enterprise data lake, supported by Amazon Redshift. With Amazon Redshift, we can reach peaks of 700 concurrent sessions and 7 queries throughput per second in a single queue. But Miriam, it's never enough. The data and compute growth is always so fast. The need for low latency queries, concurrent sessions, and securely sharing data across regions is always growing. And this is where Schneider Electric's relationship with Amazon is so important as we discover, adopt, and influence the product roadmap of Amazon through our on-the-ground enterprise data DevSecOps experience.
Yeah, Una, I love that. And at Amazon, we love having customers who lean in and help us understand the ways where products need to evolve to meet their changing business needs. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for your continued support as we build together. Juana, you're with Flutter Entertainment and have been a Redshift customer for 8-ish years. What are your main use cases and achievements, and why Redshift?
You are correct. We've been on an AWS journey for the past 8 years, and Redshift has been at the core of that implementation. Today, our estate is made out of about 45 different technologies, 30 odd utilities, and about 95% of that is in AWS. Our data is large. We work with petabytes of data. We work with thousands of users. And I can say that we have been with Redshift since it was a child. And we have been on a journey alongside AWS and raising it to adolescence. I think we've been on this journey with AWS both as a customer, but also as a partner. We've worked with the Redshift product teams across Europe and the United States to implement and test features, and also with the Redshift operations team to ensure a smooth operations of the platform. Our use cases are very diverse in terms of usage, from more traditional reporting, some up to 30 minutes latency of data, to more machine learning and deep analytics for machine learning exploration. Initially, we used Redshift as a more traditional data warehouse, but because of its evolution, now Redshift is an important component of our Lakehouse capability. Our Redshift platform is leveraged virtually by all departments within the Flutter UK&I business, specifically the Paddy Power and Betfair brands. And this ranges from financial reporting, marketing campaigns, fraud prevention, responsible gaming, personalized experience for our users, to many others. Throughout the 8 years journey, we've had a number of milestones where Redshift really surprised us, and I will limit myself to a few. The RA3 node type implementation was a major milestone for us. It freed us up from the constraints of a data warehouse as it separated the storage from compute. Concurrency scaling allowed us to automatically scale up and down, which was a critical thing for us, especially during big events that our business operates with. And Redshift data sharing also allowed us to break down our monolith. So these were just three of a number of milestones we've seen with Redshift. Over time, we have been able, alongside AWS, to remove bottlenecks, to diversify our use cases. We were able to obtain the stability and operational overhead minimization that we were aiming for. And overall, the Redshift logs and Redshift sentiment survey we often look at have been telling us a very positive story.
Juana, thank you so much for your insights, and I love your comment about partnership. And that is really what we seek at AWS. We don't want to provide a tool and then have you try to use it and try to piece together other things that might improve it. We want to work alongside our customers and evolve the capabilities. You know and reference that we're builders, and we believe in building alongside our customers. I also loved your point about breaking down monoliths. And in my role, I get to talk to a lot of customers that are challenged with these old, fragile, monolithic applications. And so having tools that move us into a more modern architecture and break down those old solutions that we inherited are extremely powerful to getting us in a position to be agile in the world of technology and data, particularly today. So thank you. May, you're with Global Foundries and you moved to Redshift just recently from an on-premises environment. Can you share with us what spurred your organization to consider using Redshift versus other options?
Yeah, Marianne, that's correct. Our company is currently in the process of building a 1GF data lake, which will serve as the foundation for an advanced analytics platform. Our goal is to offer the best of both data lake and data warehouse technologies in a single comprehensive solution. Especially, we aim to establish a unified data source for both our manufacturing and corporate teams, achieving a data loading latency of less than 1 hour, provide 24/7 support with Tier 2 SLAs, enable advanced analytic capabilities, and retire our on-premises data warehouses. Throughout our journey, we carefully evaluated multiple platforms before deciding on Redshift. We choose Redshift because it is on AWS platform, which providing long-term synergies, streamline our processes, and ensuring optimal efficiency. And the Redshift federation features eliminate the need for data duplication. By combining Redshift with Amazon Azure, Amazon RDS, and other AWS services, we can establish a powerful lakehouse architecture and will take our analytic capabilities to new heights.
Yeah, I love the analysis that your organization did in looking toward the future and the future architecture that we all need to enable data to move across platforms, bringing down latency, but also ensuring that you have the resiliency that the more modern data platforms leverage, as well as, and something I certainly struggled with when I was starting in the world of data, is that data duplication and reducing data duplication is such a great benefit. Now, shifting gears a little bit, we all live in a challenging economic situation today. And certainly cost savings always on everyone's mind, but more and more today as the markets vary across the world. It's important to always have cost and cost optimization up front. What does it mean to you and your data organization, and what are some of the features that Redshift provides that enable you to do cost optimization? Una, your thoughts?
Well, at Schneider Electric, Miriam, cost optimization and sustainability go hand in hand. And we've been recognized for our commitment to sustainability, which we aim to lead by example within our own organization and ecosystem. Focusing on sustainability naturally reduces operations costs. And in data management, this is really key. Being sustainable, we think of the CO2 impact of our data architecture. And first consider, what data do we really need to store in Redshift, for example, when Amazon have other services also available to us, like S3 for more flexible object storage, or Glacier for that various retrieval options we may need for data archiving, for example. And here, these opportunities are really enabling us to choose the most cost-efficient storage within the Amazon ecosystem for the type of data access we need. You just talked about data duplication, and this is critical for us, of course. We ensure we're not needlessly duplicating data across our data architecture, which of course has a direct impact to sustainability and our operating costs. And then the features within Redshift itself that we use to assure we're really optimizing costs are capabilities like the compute optimization, sort keys, distribution keys, MViews, and then of course the concurrency, enabling concurrency and auto-scaling.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for calling out sustainability. It is top of mind for so many of us in the world today, and love what Schneider is doing. Juana, can you share what you were doing from a cost optimization and sustainability, if you care to as well, but certainly on cost optimization?
Absolutely, Miriam. I am very passionate about operating lean and mean. So from my point of view, exactly like you said, cost optimization should all be on everybody's minds, regardless of the economic situation. It should be just part of the way you operate, because why would you want to be wasteful in the first place? There are some things that we've seen are very beneficial from a cost management optimization point of view with Amazon Redshift. And these break down into two buckets for us: quick wins and a bit more complex governance and internal processes. So on the quick wins, in the quick win bucket, I would put forecasting needs and leveraging reserved instances where appropriate. I think this is key. A second advice would be to choose the node type for the business needs, because this also comes with a different degree of cost. But in this situation, I think one needs to be mindful of the cost performance balance when the decisions are made. Automatically provisioning environments, shutting down and turning it back up development test environments that may potentially use on-demand pricing is also something you can do in the quick win buckets. And also purposefully configuring clusters. And here I'm thinking number of nodes, concurrency scaling, just the way Una mentioned. In the more complex governance internal processes bucket, I think there's a few things that should be thought of in terms of cost optimization. Cluster configurations such as workload management, query monitoring rules, these are means of optimizing cost as long as they speak the same governance language that you already have implemented with your user base. Training the users to make sure that they write very optimal and efficient queries over Redshift is extremely important. This is something we've seen firsthand as being a very important, not only cost optimization, but also efficiency usage of the platform. And also data retention, like Una was mentioning, and choosing this data retention in Redshift versus other AWS services is extremely important. And finally, don't use Redshift as a nail for all the analytics use cases because Redshift is very good at what it does, but it's not the only nail in AWS's toolbox. So these would be some ideas around cost optimizations with Redshift specifically.
Absolutely love that. And love the point about training. One, the fact that you know so much about the solution and your team knows how the solution operates so that your team's empowered to make these choices and optimize and have our team run alongside you. And then the training of users so that they understand what they're using and they're using the right tool for the right query or the right data. So thank you for that. May, I know you're relatively new to Redshift, but I appreciate all of your training and background in AWS. Could you share some things that are upfront and important to your team?
Yeah, sure. I think Una and Warner covers most of the aspect regarding Redshift, and there aren't many I can add on. But I want to say in high level, cost saving means finding ways to minimize costs related to data storage, processing, and analysis, while still achieving business objectives. This may involve using cost-effective cloud-based solutions such as Redshift, and optimizing data storage and processing infrastructure, reducing operational overhead, and streamlining processes. Cost saving can also mean finding ways to eliminate data redundancy, reduce unnecessary data processing, and automate manual processes. Thus, we can save time and resources. By doing this, a data organization can allocate resources towards more strategic initiatives, such as improving data quality, enhancing analytic capabilities, and driving innovation. Ultimately, cost saving is about finding ways to do more with less without compromising data integrity or business goals. So Redshift features, I would like to highlight some of these following features, like compression. Compression data before storing it can help save on storage costs and improve query performance. It is best practice not to compress the sort key columns. However, in our use case, where the sort key has multiple columns, with one of the columns being significantly large, compressing the non-leading columns of sort key actually results up to 60% storage savings. And I think Una also mentioned about the concurrency scaling. Concurrency scaling feature enables additional compute resources to be added on demand, which help organizations handle sudden spike in query volume. By utilizing this feature, we can avoid over-provisioning resources and reduce costs. And the last one is the reserved instance. Once the workload is stable, opting for reserved instance can cut costs further.
Meg, thank you. I think you just shared some wonderful guiding principles for a data team to always consider. As Juana said, it's not something that you do just in tough economic times. it's a mindset of optimization and frugality. Certainly that is one of Amazon's leadership principles, is frugality is always considering costs. So I appreciate all of your insights and examples, because cost saving and Una's also focus on sustainability are critical in developing solutions as we go forward. We have a few minutes left, and you've shared your journey to data and to Redshift, and how you're using Redshift and focusing on cost optimization. I'm curious also to know what's next. Where are you headed with your organization and data and solutions, Una?
Well, Miriam, we have several key opportunities where Amazon are actively supporting us. First, we mentioned the challenge of compute. We're deep diving into Redshift serverless to understand how that can really help us with the scale of the compute needs we have today. And our hope and expectation is that will help us roll out an operating model of data mesh to bring a semi-level of autonomy to our engineering teams globally. In addition, the latest data zone release seems really promising for us. We're not using it yet. It's something we want to investigate. But the ability to secure the governance of data publishing services from Redshift for both data consumers and data prosumers is really attractive, particularly understanding who's accessing what, where, and when. This is really a product we're interested in deep diving more in the coming weeks and months. And finally, we're fully focused on the ability to segregate data, to secure the geographical data sovereignty of the data within our architecture. And here, really the geo-positioning of data within the AWS architecture is a key aspect that we're working on right now.
Thank you. Just some exciting technologies in front of all of us to leverage and create value for our business. Juana, where are you focused at Flutter?
Yeah, so pertaining to Redshift, our next evolution of the platform would be even more breakdowns of the clusters and for unique business needs. Testing and implementing improvements to concurrency scaling and data sharing, and some of the announcements that AWS have recently come out with. Definitely serverless in the future. And I think a very important thing to mention in what's next is we are leveraging Redshift alongside other services, and how that integrates in the large data architecture we have alongside Glue and lake formation capabilities is something we're very interested in. So we are looking at it not just from a Redshift point of view, but from an overall architecture and how Redshift works with other services.
Yeah, thank you. I'm particularly also excited about our announcements of a move toward zero ETL. I spent way too many hours in meetings and dealing with challenges around the ETL. So I agree with you on some of the future looks bright for some of the data challenges. May, some things that you guys are looking at Global Foundries.
Yeah, those new features are really exciting. And at Global Foundries, we'll be exploring Redshift serverless as well for our development and testing environment, as well as for any future workloads. Additionally, the increased availability of data will provide us with greater potential for AI and machine learning projects.
Yeah, AI and ML certainly have captured the imagination of business leaders. I'm spending a good portion of my time talking to leaders and sharing use cases and examples of things that are now possible. So exciting times, as I said, for all of us in this space. And it's interesting if I look at all of our resumes, the four of us combined have almost 100 years of experience in this space, not to age any of us or no issues there. But there's not a lot of women in data. It is unique to have such a panel with such experience. I've had the opportunity to do some what we called women in data sessions, trying to encourage people young in their career to choose data. I'd love to hear your advice to that next generation of women leaders and what they should consider and some of the exciting things in this field. Una, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting, Miriam, because I come from an engineering background. And when I moved from software engineering to data engineering, I realized in the world of BI and analytics, it's not just about your engineering skills. Data leadership requires a wide range of skill sets. If you're an engineer, you have to adopt business capabilities and business knowledge. If you're a business expert, on the other hand, you need to adopt a basic concept of engineering capabilities. And the reality is, no matter what data initiative you're working on, we need really strong program and project leadership, communication, marketing, and soft skills. So my advice would really be to learn from those who have the skills that you don't have, and to share with others the skills that you have, and build teams that are a combination of these skills. And that, with your data background and a very strong network internally, which you need to build because you're constantly promoting data and the value data brings, will make the next level of leadership really successful, I believe, in data.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Juana, your thoughts?
Yeah, so data is the perfect combination of interests for me. Like mentioned, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science and an MBA in finance and project management. So data naturally was the crossroads of these two worlds, like Una mentioned. And what I would say is data has a bright future in terms of any industry you may be working in. So it is a very good place to be in terms of challenges, in terms of technology, in terms of benefits you can bring to any business. You mentioned women data leaders, so the advice I would give women data leaders would be very similar to any women leaders out there in any field, and particularly in technology fields. I found myself many times being the only woman in the room. And just recently, I was at a data technology summit where I was surrounded by 32 men in the room. But what I can say, it was, even though I was the only female in the room, it was a great experience. I had I was not being judged. I didn't feel any less than anyone. So what I would say is courage. Have the courage to step up and think of a career and a leadership career in the data field. Not being afraid of being judged, and not being afraid sometimes being the only woman in the meetings. And also, I think a good venue for that to um, spirit leadership in data is to attend different forums and different organizations locally or globally for mentorship. So choose to be a mentee or choose to be a mentor in one of these many forums that are out there. I had the pleasure of being both, and I can say that it's been extremely important for me in my career and my development to be part of something more than just the work environment, and be around other data leaders.
Absolutely. And May, your thoughts?
Yeah, very well said, Mona. The data field is constantly evolving, and staying up to date with the latest technology and the trend is crucial. So my advice would be to keep learning and upgrading your skills to stay relevant and competitive. Also have confidence in your ability and don't be afraid to take on challenges. Believe that you can achieve your goals and work towards them with determination and persistence. And also, networking with other professionals in the industry can be invaluable in gaining knowledge and insights, finding job opportunities, and also building your reputations.
Some amazing insights from three very knowledgeable and successful female leaders in very different companies, leveraging data to drive value for their organizations. It is a great field. It's a great time to be in technology and to be in data, because it will change how businesses operate in the future, and you can be part of driving that change. So I want to thank Una, Juana, and May so much for taking the time to share your stories and insights and your data journeys. I think this has been a fabulous panel, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Thank